Hello mate, welcome back to the channel. So it has been a fun few days. I hope you've had a great league start. I know I have. It's been interesting. We're going to talk a little bit in this video, just as promised, a bit of a build update. We're going to take a look at how it went through the campaign, some of the interesting stuff there, leveling, splitting steel, where we're at with the build right now, and then where we think we want to get to with it, where we can get to with it. TLDR, a bit of a spoiler, it is looking good. I think we're going to hit 40-40, so we're going to look also at our Atlas tree, plans there, how we're going to make currency, what our next upgrades are, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, here is the character, Silver Splits. We started off through the league, going through the campaign. We actually went through the campaign for the first time with another creator, going by Mako and Mocha. I'll put the link in below. And he hit me up and said, hey, do you want to run the campaign together? And I was in absolutely no rush this time round. So we played through together, had some fun, discovering all the new campaign stuff, as I'm sure you've heard about and experienced yourself. Hello. What is going on? We've got loads of new stuff. Dude, that's so sick.
We're actually trying to make an effort now more to like just modify the campaign just slightly with every release and do a little bit more with that. Yeah. And I think that in PoE 2 we'll also be wanting to do the same thing, where we're just modifying the campaign, adding more things to the random generation that we can do, and just like filling around with it.
Really refreshing. Super glad they're doing that. I'm so glad that that is the plan for PoE 1 and PoE 2 going forward. So that's very cool. And yes, we were leveling splitting steel. So as mentioned before, Try chose splitting steel for us. I've never played the build, so I was curious, and it is going really well. So leveling was a little bit dicey. We leveled Spectral Helix, and it was a little bit tough, I can't lie. The only time that was really tricky with it was around sort of level 30 to 40 and making that transition over. But as soon as we got a decent axe, decent weapon, and then eventually getting into Invictus Metal, it was easy. You can get some really nice cheap uniques. I didn't even put Ancestral Protector in. I could have done a lot more. My links were terrible. We were just kind of taking it easy. You could definitely have a smoother leveling process than I did. But where are we at now? So the build is absolutely online, and it's very, very early days, but we are smashing through content. We're super over leveled, just because we've been doing a lot of extra content. There's so much extra content that you can pack into your maps this league. What I'll do in a minute, I'll run a map and I'll sort of show you where we're at. But yeah, the general gist of it is we're in a really good spot. We've got some upgrades, and we want to switch over to Perseverance, but there's a couple of things I need to tweak, not just like resistances. I need a bit more strength. There's just loads of fiddly stuff. We're eventually going to be going dual wield. I will show you actually before we jump into a map. So you can see here, this is Rue's POB. I've made a couple of little changes to it. Not because I think I'm better, just because I've got a couple of different tweaks that I wanted to make in terms of the playability. If we go to the 95 swap, this is where we're swapping over to dual wield, and we're grabbing our Dream Feather and Bell Timber Blade. We're dropping the axe nodes, and then we'll eventually come over and get all the sword nodes. But the sword nodes are very crit heavy, so that is then later on. We're then going to go crit. But this is much later. We pick up some clusters, we go crit, and this is where the damage starts to get a little bit nutty. You can see here we're at like 87 mil. This can actually go to nearly 100, but I've made a bit of a change just for quality of life and defensiveness. Instead of picking up Arena Challenger through our Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh Jewels, I'm thinking of maybe picking up Brutal Fervor, getting us that overleech, getting more maximum leech, and the damage reduction. I think this is going to be super, super quality of life, comfy play. So yeah, but these clusters are super OP. I also picked this up, but this takes us to our maximum point. So this is like a level 100 tree. There's a couple of things we might be able to move around to get these Impale effect first. But in terms of DPS, like, I'm not sure this cluster can be beaten. It's insane. So, in terms of squeezing everything in, we have to pick up Sovereignty on our amulet. At some point, we've got to allocate that to try and get our Grace, Determination, as well as our Pride auras in. Basically, we life tap a lot of stuff when we make our dual wield switch, and I hate using life tap on everything. I would much rather use those socket slots for like a call to arms with Enduring Cry to get our endurance charges, as well as like a cast on damage taken. There's actually a lot that we can do with sockets now. As you guys know who are feeling socket starved, we're very lucky on this build that we're not socket starved. Alright, so let's run a map. We'll run this T5. We have been, I think we're up to T8s now, but I've ran out, so here we are, and Kirak isn't giving me any more. So we'll chuck this in. doesn't matter about that. And then we'll just see how the build plays, and I'll sort of talk about my thoughts and how it feels. So yeah, the gist of it is it feels really good. It's very quick. Champion gives us a lot of comfort. It's a pretty comfy play style. Once you've got your kind of a little bit of mana leech on the tree, you don't really have to worry about mana too much as long as you're not over reserving. And yeah, I mean, this is it. You just run through and there's projectiles absolutely everywhere. Fury Valve, the unique amulet, helps quite a bit. Once you pick this up, it's definitely useful, especially earlier on. We may be able to get a rare amulet that actually outcompetes it a bit later on, but we'll have to see. And then just in terms of content, like I'll talk about this just afterwards, but we've got mainly Jun and Expedition. We rushed up for the extra 20 points, and the amount of extra content that we're getting in this league is pretty insane. It's just making the maps a lot of fun, a lot of like reveals and stuff in terms of getting our veiled craft mods, which is helpful. We'll probably spec out a Jun as soon as we feel like we've got all of those, to be honest. But I'm using it for the safe houses, and the XP that you get from safe houses is just absolutely insane. So I'm not going to run everything in this map. We'll just sort of just to give you a bit of a feel of how the play is. But as you can see, super comfy. T8s feel exactly like this as well. I imagine as we push, we're going to need a little bit of help, especially in terms of maximum resistances. So we're going to eventually be picking up flasks, some LE resistance flasks, and trying to squeeze those into the build. We do need our granite and our jade flask though for perseverance and for scaling our armor and evasion. So yeah, we're probably going to be able to get 2 LE flasks in whilst keeping our life flask, and that's not too much of a problem. Maybe a Gravicious craft on the chest at some point. Anyway, that's kind of getting into it. For now, okay, Gwenon, I'm going to skip Gwenon. But for now, yeah, the build's feeling really good. There's so much verticality. This is basically as low as the damage is ever going to get. As soon as you make it to maps and you've got these items in place, once you've got your... I mean, the Obscurantis is really useful for getting our precise technique, for our accuracy all the way up. I took these nodes and I can now drop these, now that we've got the Obscurantis. And then I can probably come over here and pick up these Impale nodes. This is incredibly effective for this build, incredibly powerful. The Impale chance alone, along with our Dread Banner, takes us to nearly 100%. I mean, just picking this item up, very good, feels good quality of life, especially with Rampage. Rampage feels wicked. It's not every day you get to play a build with Rampage in, and it does feel fun. Even just seeing the number go up, right? Number go up feels good. Not super impressive gear, like our chest was a lucky purchase because of the suppress chance on there, but it's not very good. There's just so much more that we can do with this build, and we've got some resistance rings just to try and bring our resistances up. But like I say, once we get LE flasks in, that's not going to be an issue. So yeah, let's clear this boss, and I mean, this is, like I say, it's T5, so these are just going to melt, but the damage can go to the moon with this. We're talking like 100 million DPS if you really wanted to, apparently. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. By the way, set up your hotkey bind for teleport. I didn't do it all the way through the campaign. I was like, no, I'm just used to opening up and clicking, but as soon as you do it, you will never go back. Honestly, I've got mine to T because I don't really need the T slot right now on my bar. It's just leap slam and drop your banner if you want to, but basically just leap slam and splitting steel. Totems, I haven't even got totems in the build yet, which, you know, as you guys know, if you get a bit lazy, if the DPS is there, then you just tend to not fill up the extra stuff that you don't need. But that will be coming in as soon as we sort out our chaos and damage over time stuff, which we can do some stuff with our Pantheon. We're going to get ailment avoidance and ailment immunity eventually, and then we're going to get some max LE res through the flask. So I'm feeling super good. So yeah, this is where the build's at, and now I want to talk about Atlas passive tree. Okay, so we came straight to the right. We're still on our first tree. We haven't unlocked the second tree yet, but we came straight to the right and we picked up Jun. Instead of taking like the most efficient path, which many people have, I just found that running Jun through those initial early maps was just super helpful, and we get 40% here, and it felt like she was turning up in every map. I'm not sure if it's like bugged or I'm just not used to having so much quantity chance on the tree, but yeah, that 40% just went a really, really long way. And then I straight away picked up Expedition as well, just because I like running Expedition, and I thought if I can just get a little bit of currency to help me get some of these items, and a little bit of, you know, currency to play around with flasks and stuff like that. We actually rolled some really nice flasks early on. So, I mean, this life flask, for example, super happy with this. I mean, it's just exactly what we needed for the build. And then we've already got our our Jade and Granite flasks sorted. Basically, I just need to get some instilling orbs for the quality of life automation. But then, yeah, so we got Expedition, we came straight up, and then we basically rushed. We got some Kirak missions, which has kind of helped a little bit for our maps. Not tons yet. Obviously, the more you stack, the better it is. And then we came all the way up and grabbed Unwavering Vision. Now, as soon as we grabbed this then sort of like instantly activated the tree, and a lot of you guys will be finding this, but I really think this is the play. Grab Unwavering Vision, we picked up our intelligence gathering straight away, and now we're just blasting. This is just such a broken Atlas node. You know, if people don't often say that about Atlas nodes, right? Oh, it's busted, it's broken, but to me, this is busted. And the reason being, especially early on, that getting Jun in every map, I've got safe houses. Where is she? I've got like safe houses that I just haven't even run. I've got Katarina just waiting to do, as well as another. But it's like the XP that you get from running these is insane, and getting those early levels. That's why we're so over leveled. So we picked that up, and then we grabbed our logbook chance, which is super useful, and that also gives us a ton more expedition chance. And we picked up our big bomb. This is quality of life heaven. This makes the whole thing, for me, I don't really like running expedition without it. So we did, obviously, while we were leveling up. This makes it possible for me in my mind. And also you just get a ton more. It's actually like huge value, because all of the little monsters that you miss, you know, along the way, you forget how much they stack up, as well as getting the other extra remnants and suffix chance. So this cluster, huge. And then basically that was it. That was our 20 points spent up virtually. And we also grabbed these Kirak nodes. These have now been boosted up to 2%, and I'm basically just trying to like grab a load of Kirak to help with my completion. And that has been really good, because I think I've done like 3 unique maps already just from Kirak, and it just saves me going into trade, buying them for like 10C or whatever, and yeah, it's just nice quality of life. So next, the plan that I've been working on since then, and the plan going forward, is going to be, we've picked up Pack with Energy, and we're now going to grab all of this Nico chance. There's 40% Nico chance here. So with this node and this, I could grab these if I wanted to, but we're basically going to be getting 50% of Nico to be turning up in the map, on top of the base chance, which I think is, what, like 8%? So yeah, most of our maps we're going to be getting Packed with Energy. And this is just, again, just a comfy thing. I want to just blast through it, like, I don't want to have any stress, dying a lot, losing experience, because we're getting into those higher levels now where it's starting to matter. So that's going to help out big time. We're then going to come all the way down here on the left and grab these other Kirak chances. And the reason, you might be thinking, oh, okay, that seems like, you know, it's not a great idea. But we are getting, remember, we're getting these 2% chances along the way. So we're filling all this in. This is another 10%. And then we're getting all the Kirak. But on top of that, one thing that surprised me, and I want to squeeze in whilst I can, because it's actually making me a ton of money whilst I'm leveling and going through the Atlas, and this may be helpful for you guys, is Ultimatum. Where is it? Where's Ultimatum? Down here. So all of this chance to get Ultimatum, on this alone is 66% chance Ultimatum. So we're basically almost guaranteeing Ultimatum. On top, with the 8% on top of that, we're getting like 74% chance to get Ultimatum. Now, what I've found with this build, and this definitely will not apply to all builds, but because we have tons of leech, we've got fortify, we've got a ton of armor and evasion, we can handle a lot of the ultimatum arenas. As well as that, we've got leap slam, and the mobility that we've got is really, really high. It's making it very easy to go like 8, 9, 10s every time. I think I've completed half of my ultimatums, and if I haven't, then I've got to 9. And because of that, we are getting some pretty good corrupted items, which we've sold. We got like a +4, we got a +2 cold, +2 AoE helmet, which was pretty nutty. That sold for a little bit of dough. And on top of that, we're getting a ton of catalysts, and catalysts seem to be selling immediately for quite nice prices. I think we've made 100C just selling catalysts quite easily. Second trees, plans going forward. I'll wrap this up now because this was just meant to be a short video talking about how we're getting on, a bit of a build update. The second tree, we're basically going to be dropping all of our Jun, and we're going to swap into Breach. So we'll come all through here, and then we'll come over this way. We'll come down here, probably pick up these expedition nodes, start specking into Breach, get the Breach there, and it is going to be pretty juicy, I think. So I'm not going to do what some people have done, which is like save up 20 points and then unspec Unwavering Vision. I'm literally just going to keep it in for this first tree, and then second tree we're not going to use it. The Breach stuff is, I think, is going to be super exciting. I've seen some people like chucking tons of Chola Breach stones into the chat, and yeah, I think we're gonna have a good time farming that. The build can handle it 100%. Feeling very, very good, very positive about that. And there's so much between the scarabs and getting all of the stuff on the Atlas tree. We're getting 100% breach. We're getting tons of breaches. It's going to be good, so I'm excited to figure that out. Alright, so quick PSA, if you were thinking of picking up Treasure Hunt, I've had very mixed reviews about it. I really wanted to do some Alva and grab this and see if it was going to be a secret, wicked, like, you know, strat that no one had kind of lent into. But one of the guys in the chat over on the stream, we've been streaming every day, shout out to Velitus. Yeah, he's just been sharing his findings and found that this wasn't very good for him. He's been saying that Ritual's been incredibly good for him. He's shared some really impressive synth bases and stuff that he's got from Ritual. So yes, maybe avoid this one. I'm not sure. I'd be really curious to hear if anyone else is playing with it. Alright, so that is where we're at. That's where we've got to. I think I'm going to take the split and steel build all the way. I wasn't sure if I was going to have to switch over to a mana stacker, but it's looking very, very promising. So I'm going to be back on stream, running through, seeing how far we get. And I just want to say a huge thank you. It's been like incredibly surprising how well the streams have gone. We wanted to get to 50 followers, Twitch, you know, to get our affiliate, and we've already hit it. And I didn't think that would happen for like at least a month. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. So yeah, I mean, obviously I've got a really small audience here on YouTube, and I didn't, you know if it would convert at all or anything like that. But people have just been jumping in, having a chat. We've had some really, really cool conversations, talking a lot more about like game design and just general, yeah, like game philosophy stuff, which has been interesting, talking about some other games. If you know me, if you know my content, I like to do all that kind of design, theory crafting. We make like ascendancy classes. I definitely want to do more for PoE 2. We've got some league stuff coming up. And yeah, so it's just been cool to have like a bit of a chiller stream and have people engaging and talking about that stuff. So thank you very, very much for watching this video, for catching up, for seeing how we're doing. Splitting Steel Champ, I'm going to put it at a solid 8 out of 10 so far. It's definitely not like broken, but it is strong. It feels comfy, and I'm very excited to see how we go. So I'll update you soon. We'll put another one of these out in a few days, and hopefully we will be finishing up our Void Stones, getting towards our T17s. There's so much to do. Very excited, very hyped for the league. If I don't see you on stream, then thank you very much for watching, friends, Exiles. I will see you in the next one. Ta-da.